posting isn't private. Beware what you share.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Fail on a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of radio affiliates here in Lancaster and beyond. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. This program is produced at Fairfield Christian Academy. A number of the students help with the production of the program, along with their instructor, J.T. Burcham. Behind the scenes, Kelly Roberts, our executive producer, takes care of lining the guests up, a lot of the good questions, and does a lot of good work behind the scenes. Back by popular demand, 2 weeks in a row, Lieutenant Tim Voris.
Sheriff, how are you, sir?
And our Detective Bureau Commander. I don't even think we mentioned that last week, did we?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We talked about a lot of things.
We did talk about a lot of things. So you've been the Detective Bureau Commander off and on for a few years.
Yes, sir.
And you've done about everything within the Sheriff's Office, haven't you?
I have throughout my, August will be 30 years, and been a supervisor, been a deputy, a supervisor, and a commander in each of the division throughout that time. Yes, sir.
So you've been over the jail, over the patrol division, over the Detective Bureau?
Yes, sir.
And probably the only thing you haven't is the communications area.
I have not been a canine handler either.
And you haven't been the canine guy?
I've been a horse handler, but not a canine handler, Sheriff.
It's amazing to me how popular the animals are.
Yes.
And when we have something with the canine, with the mounted unit, the public really loves it. And Kelly, Roberts, my assistant, also takes care of social media. And as she can tell you, when we put something out about one of the animals or something like that, watch out, because everybody wants to see that and hear that.
They enjoy that. As a matter of fact, the other day we had a couple of detectives, some patrol officers, our SWAT guys, and Sean Malloy took his dog and they went down to Amanda schools, and we had a presentation of our department, and the kids really enjoyed that. They walked through the SWAT truck, they walked through the crime scene truck, did a police canine demonstration, and they really enjoyed that demonstration. And it was a great time to spend in the community and just share with those kids and kind of give them an idea that we're the nice guys, we're here to help you out, and they really enjoyed that and had a good time.
And we've had a period of time where we're actually having some billboards in the county, the electronic billboards, where we're featuring Deputy Malloy and Carr, our new dog, along with the caption, "Drug Dealers Beware."
Yes.
And we did that a few years ago. It's very popular, but we just want to put drug dealers on notice in our community that we're going to be paying attention. We're watching them. We're doing our dead level best to find out who they are and put them in the penitentiary.
Exactly, and our detectives are the same level. They have a zero tolerance for people taking advantage of people in this community, especially our seniors. You commit a crime against our seniors, and we're going to come after you, and we're going to look at you kind of hard, because it's not a place for you to take advantage of somebody like that and everybody else that commits a crime. We're going to be tough on crime.
Now, we talked about this before on the show, but I find this pretty interesting. Coming from some larger police agencies, Washington and Columbus, the detectives there they're specialists. In other words, a homicide detective, all they'll do is investigate homicides. Someone involved in auto thefts, checks. So they get very good and they investigate particular crimes. Where our detectives, your detectives, they investigate everything. So a detective could be investigating a white-collar crime today and a double homicide tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think we could take our detectives and really place them in any other entity or agency, and they would really do well because of that. As you start out, you learn here at the Sheriff's Office that you talk to the neighbors, you fingerprint your crime scenes, you photograph it, you present everything you can, and then it takes that next step up to detective. And there's a lot of patrol officers today that can really do those basic crime scene evidence collection type of scenes and present a case to the prosecutor's office and get felony charges filed. And we support them, we help them with that through that. But But yeah, you learn the basics from taking that report to taking that case to the grand jury. And we've got great detectives at the sheriff's office. We just added, and thank you for David Maple.
Right. He was a school resource officer at Fairfield Union for years.
Great school resource officer, did an amazing job out there. Now he's stepping into the role. He's got experience. He's part of our SWAT team. You know, he does a good job, and we had a chance to use him in the summer before, and he just did a really great job for us.
Well, he'll do a good job.
Yes.
And Dean Rary is going out to Fairfield Union.
Dean Rary stepping out to Fairfield Union, a school resource officer, was out there for their graduation a week ago, and it went very well.
Now you're a Fairfield Union. You're kind of involved out there, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Or you were involved, especially when Annie was there.
Yeah, 2 girls that both attended Fairfield Union schools.
Yeah, and both your girls are going into nursing, right?
Yes, both are in nursing. Annie's continuing at her second year down at Muskingum College, and my other daughter, Lindsay, is at Mount Carmel East.
You've got to be very proud of them.
Very proud of them.
And you know, just on a personal note, I went to some of the events out there at Fairfield Union. Your daughter was there, and you know, you have a manner about you where you're very friendly and you come up to people and everything. And I could have told I would have known whose daughter it is. So she walked up, you know, she said, "Hey, how are you?" And she's personable and just very nice, very nice family.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I had met your grandson. He played for Bloom Carroll basketball.
He did. Yeah.
And I introduced myself to him on one of the games that I'd been to, and he was out there and just a nice gentleman.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's today is. We need to continue to work towards our youth and giving them the tools that they need to be a good person in our community, somebody that's really going to help somebody. And that's all I've asked of my daughters is that just add value to somebody's life every day. Opening a door, carrying a book, help them out a little bit, because that's kind of what life's about.
Absolutely, good stuff. Now, this summer, we have some of the parades coming up, some of the festivals, a lot of different things coming up.
Yes. Busy time for us in the Detective Bureau. Seasonal crimes are going on. People are going to be out regularly. We see people that are out blacktopping driveways and different things that come into our community from outside of the community.
The con guys?
The con guys doing different things like that. So we kind of keep an extra eye on those people that are doing some, repair work or offering to come door to door and different things. So if you see something doesn't seem right, somebody comes to your door, contact the sheriff's office. Let us know, give us a call, and let us know what's going on in your neighborhood, and we'll check it out.
Absolutely. And again, it's summertime. Kids are out of school. Typically, we see an uptick as far as the vandalism, unfortunately,
yes,
and those kind of things.
Yeah. More kids are out. They're out later at night.
They're driving. There's
different things like that we kind of look at and work with our patrol division on the different type of crimes that are happening in the area. So just keep valuables out of cars. Keep your car locked. Report anything suspicious that you see this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as we move along in our program today, something just came to mind that a few weeks ago we had Dave Landefeld on. Dave's going to be the new municipal court judge. He was the county prosecutor for, 30 years.
Yeah, had numerous cases with him. Does a great job.
And an interesting thing he said, and you may want to comment on this as the commander of the Detective Bureau, he said today there's such a higher expectation from jurors as far as they have an expectation that you're going to have DNA. They have an expectation you're going to have fingerprints. And so he says sometimes that's not really reality because we don't always, aren't always able to get those things, although we have the right person in custody. But he said he noticed it became increasingly more difficult because today people see the date lines, they see the 48 hours, they see the crime programs on television, CSI, you name it. And so they kind of go in thinking, well, if they don't have that stuff, they must not have the right guy. But the reality is that's not always the case, is it?
That's not always the case. And a 45-minute program on television does not depict a 2-week investigation into a crime scene. And it really does take a teamwork effort from the law enforcement agency to the Bureau of Criminal Investigation at BCI to process that evidence for us.
That's right.
To bring that evidence back, to present it to the prosecutor, to grand jury, and present that case and kind of lay it out for the jurors to take a look at so that they get a fair, equitable look at the complete case from both sides. And we process scenes, we take witness statements, we'll bring people back in and re-interview them and gather as much physical evidence as we can to present that case to the grand jury. And several cases where cigarette butts, fingerprints come back positive to different things that help us guide in our direction to find out who's responsible for that crime. And that takes time. It just doesn't happen overnight.
One of the big cases on a national level lately was the case where the executives in Washington, D.C., a gentleman, his wife, and 10-year-old son were brutally murdered in their home, and then the house was set on fire. That actually they had found some DNA, if I remember correctly, on a pizza crust.
Yeah, apparently he had had pizza delivered and set outside the door to the home.
And they touched the pizza and they found some discarded pizza and they were able to retrieve some DNA.
Yeah, so there's really some remarkable things that the Bureau of Criminal Investigation in our state can do to take a look at that evidence, process it, get some really good results back. Detective Kohler did a great job the other day. He went out, processed a burglary scene, got some fingerprints. We sent that in and it came back with a suspect. So
it's great police work.
Great police work on our part as the detectives.
Now, with the way the criminals are mobile, I know that you guys do a lot of work with the Lancaster detectives in Pickerington.
Yes.
And because you're going to have to do that today.
You have to work together.
Because if they're breaking in garages in Lancaster, they're breaking in garages in the county.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, each entity of law enforcement, we work together, we share a roll call, we send a newsletter out to each of us so we know what's going on. Brian Underwood's been a great detective from Lancaster. We worked on a couple different things here recently with him, and he came up the other day and he said, you know, I just feel comfortable coming up here and working with the detectives like I'm in my office. And
isn't that nice?
And I said, well, that's the way we want you to feel. We want you to come up and work together because we're all on the same team.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, we're coming up, it's just a little less than a minute less. Anything lastly you want to share toward the end of the program?
No, I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done. You continue to lead the Sheriff's Office in a positive way, in a professional way, and we continue to make progress in keeping Fairfield County a safe and secure community.
Well, we've got a terrific group throughout the agency, and continue to move forward steadfast. I'm appreciative too of our county commissioners that have been willing to come forward and help support a new jail, even under some controversy. And it's been kind of sad to see some of that. And I think the commissioners have been, in my view, kind of unfairly attacked on a lot of venues for really trying to do the right thing. I don't think there's anybody that has any history here that doesn't understand the realization that we need a jail. And so I am appreciative of our commissioners and their steadfastness.
It's not an easy job to work in the jail, and especially in the buildings that we work in today.
Currently we have 3 jails. This whole other program where you can talk about
and it sure could be, but I encourage anybody who has any questions or would like to just come in for a tour to call your office, ask questions, be more than glad to share with them those questions that they may have.
Last 2 weeks, Lieutenant Tim Voris, our Detective Bureau Commander, does a terrific job. We appreciate him taking time out of his busy schedule to join us. Well, the clock on the wall says we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners, the folks here at Fairfield Christian Academy, Kelly Roberts, our executive producer, and certainly to you, the viewers and listeners. Till next week, God bless, and we'll see you right here.
When it comes to choosing a school, parents who want the best education for their students look for academic excellence, skilled teachers, a safe school that encourages their values. Students want a school with competitive athletics, unique opportunities, and friendships that last a lifetime. Fairfield Christian Academy, the place where parents and students agree. Enrolling now at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.